women will never respect a weak man. And you can bitch and complain about what's fair or not fair all you want, but the fact of the matter is that men set the intention and direction of a relationship while women control the speed. That said, a man's responsibility does not erase a woman's accountability. I'm going to play 2 videos for you that I had originally posted to TikTok about the dance between men and women when it comes to love, respect, safety, and security. I was originally inspired by the book Love and Respect. I will link it in the description if you are interested in that, but more specifically, I'll be talking about the chart found on page 5, the crazy cycle. I will share a few more thoughts at the end, but I'd also love to hear what you think about these videos in the comments, so let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to need each and every one of you to memorize this. Look at it. Take a mental screenshot. Take a physical screenshot. Draw it in your sketchbook. Get it tatted on the back of your hand. I don't care. Just burn it into your brain. Because this right here is the macro relationship problem that most of your relationship problems stem from. This chart is from the book Love and Respect. And it is this simple. Men have a core need to feel respect, and women have a core need to feel love. Men want to feel like the hero, like he is admired and trusted and followed. And women want to feel like they are loved, cherished, chosen, seen, heard, and safe. And when a woman is not feeling loved, she struggles to be respectful. And when a man does not feel respected, he struggles to be loving. It's not rocket science, and yet men and women often find themselves at war, demanding more of what they want from the other before they give more of what the other wants, often leaving a bunch of love and respect wounds on each other that cannot be taken back. Step back and think of it like 2 children screaming at each other, "You touched me first. No, you do it first, and then I'll do it." And it's this never-ending power struggle between what each person feels is fair or not fair, and who is feeling more loved and who is feeling more respected at any given moment. And it is a losing battle. Most people end up playing the game as an individual, but relationships are a team sport, and you wonder why your team keeps losing. So after I posted that video, I received some comments back and some responses, and that inspired me to post another video as a follow-up, which we are going to watch now. Men are the foundation of this cycle. I want to talk about this because I think that there is truth to it. Men set the intention and direction for a relationship, while women control the speed. Women hold the keys to sex, while men hold the keys to marriage. The masculine is the container of the feminine. Women come from the man's rib. Men and women are different. And the people who are looking for things to be exactly fair and equal are weird and delusional. Argue all you want. Men will always be far more physically strong and dangerous, and women's bodies have babies. Even for these 2 biological reasons alone, our roles in relationships will never be equal. We have different strengths and weaknesses and skills as individuals, but also in accordance to our biology, and therefore we will have different roles to play on the team. So yes, men set the tone, they set the foundation, they set the stage for safety and security, and that is what men are built for. So if a man does not provide an initial foundation of commitment and safety and security for a relationship, why would you expect the woman involved to not be operating in insecurity and fear? It starts with the framework that a man sets. Women take what they are given and they multiply it. So I guess you could say that it starts with being a man worth respecting. A woman will never respect a weak man. So are you an honest man? Are you disciplined? Are you hardworking? Are you trustworthy? Are you a man of your word? A man of good standing, a man who is confident and competent, a man with a plan? Do you have direction in your life beyond next weekend with the boys or trying to get laid or a new car part. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have everything figured out. You don't have to be special or super successful or high social status. You don't have to be Don Juan. You don't have to have already crossed some imaginary finish line. You simply have to be running a race with a destination in mind. This is the only way that you can invite a woman along for the ride and to respect your leadership. A lot of men do lie and play pretend about their direction and their intentions, and they manipulate women into getting into the vehicle of the relationship with them, but such men will inevitably lead their relationship off a cliff or begin to look to her for his direction, which then also kicks off this whole cycle of disrespect. And once she starts to feel like you're not really going anywhere, or at least anywhere towards where you said you were going to go, if she starts to feel like you're just driving in circles, or even worse, starting to depend on her for direction, she is going to begin to lose respect for you. She's going to stop seeing you as a capable leader or as the hero. And when that starts to happen and you start to feel disrespected as a man, you're going to start pulling away your love or trying to control her. And so this cycle continues to spin around and around until it unravels your entire relationship. That said, let's not forget to turn the tables, because accountability is for everyone. And women who are adamant on blaming men for everything under the sun, who are always victims by default, they will never make for a good teammate. They will justify any and all of their poor and abusive behaviors as women as nothing more than a reaction to men. Avoid such women like the plague, because your life depends on it. Women who refuse to take accountability are like a tsunami. They have no boundaries for their own actions and emotions. They will destroy everything and everyone in their path, but will blame everyone and everything else for it. They'll say the city was built too close to the ocean, or that there weren't enough warning sirens, or that there were no rescue teams, or people should just learn how to swim, or whatever else, rather than learn how to regulate the waves of their own actions. And unfortunately, this is a lot of women today. Women who have been touched by the type of feminism that is so pro-women that it's closer to anti-men and anti-relationship with men than it is to any sort of true empowerment. Many women today are having their settings turned to disrespect and devalue men mode. They may call it decentering men, and they may even get into large groups of other women and scream. Bottom line, women who have an anti-men bias in their mindset have rendered themselves rather incapable of healthy relationships with men. It's like someone who is racist towards black people attempting to date a black person. You will not create a healthy or safe space for them whatsoever. In fact, the only relationship that you'd be able to have would be one of master and servant. So let that sink in. If you are one of these modern feminists who carry on about men being useless and the world being better without men.
Do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women? Most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless.
Your own sexism renders you incapable of ever aligning with or having a healthy relationship with a healthy man. Now, I digress because I'm starting to get too far into gender war politics, but bear with me for another minute, because what I'm trying to say is that unfortunately, many women have a very small threshold for their intention and ability to respect a man in the way he needs in order to show up well for her in a relationship.
Help me help you.
But men will still get all the blame for it, whether he's told it's because he's toxically masculine, or that he's insecure or not masculine enough to force her into her feminine energy, or whatever else. Because when a woman is not acting right, the world's first response is always, well, what did the man do? And this is one of the pills that men will need to swallow. One of the burdens of true leadership is the ability to take extreme ownership. Even when it is not your fault, it is still your responsibility. And of course, there are limits to this, but the men who understand the concept of what I'm talking about are the ones who understand the first step of how to lead a team and command respect. And unfortunately, there are not enough men of that caliber to go around, especially in the modern world where far too many grown men have yet to cut their umbilical cords. Men who don't know how to lead by example end up trying to demand respect and take control through fear, tyranny, and manipulation, which will not work on women who are not very naive or deeply wounded. I digress once again. Yes, men do set the stage, but it takes two to tango. Relationships are a team sport, man, and not many of y'all understand what it means to be a teammate. You know what? I think sitting here thinking about this, I would like to tie something else in. I think it is imperative that both men and women understand the difference between men and women when it comes to experiencing fear, because that is the part of the beast that hides beneath the surface, pulling the strings of these dynamics. Women experience fear far more often than men and have a far more adverse reaction to it, and rightly so. Our nervous systems are biologically built different. They are built for our survival, and this is why it is so powerful for a man to step into his responsibility to mitigate threats and provide security to help reduce a woman's natural fear responses. So when a man can provide safety and security, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, he has the sauce, and a weak man is incapable of providing safety. There's another book that I've become familiar with that speaks about this dance at a far more intelligent and scientifically researched level than I can do justice. It is called The Man's Guide to Women by Julie Gottman. I think it's another valuable read if you're interested in understanding more about the relationship between the differences that separate men from women, and I'll leave the link to that one as well in the description. But that's all I've got for y'all today. This is a topic that I would be down to open up and discuss again. So please leave your questions, comments, and concerns below. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.